Hello Aquarius, welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look today at the month of October. You can use this for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus, and you can either watch it before the month or as the month is unfolding. It's great to see everybody. We're going to focus, as always, on channeled messages at the beginning. And basically, this is from today, it's primarily from dream interpretation. And there were a few central areas that the dreams seemed to focus on. One was basically rebuilding and making sure that you're paying attention to the detail, the quality, the content of what you're rebuilding. And another one was simply clearing energy. Let's just take it message by message, and then we can come back to this slide if we need to. First things first, there was a lot of focus in dreams on the authenticity of materials. So what we put into our environment and our bodies absolutely has an effect on our physical well-being and then eventually also our mental well-being. So what my guides were showing me was, for instance, in construction materials, making sure that you've done your work and that it is high quality, non-toxic, that there are no allergens, and basically that you're not skimping, because if something isn't done to code, typically you'll have to go back and fix it. And I saw this both in the environment, but also if there's something that you're doing in the body. So examples in the body could be a replacement for a joint or a bone, or it could also be an elective surgery that you're deciding to do. And when you're putting anything into your body that isn't organic, you have to sort of do some testing and make sure that there's no allergic reaction and that the quality of the material is up to code and is authentic. So do your homework basically. And also for the people that you're hiring, for instance, in construction work, or the doctor that you're entrusting your well-being in, you just really want to make sure also that you've done your research there. Nothing to worry about overall, except if you're skimping or trying to put in something that's subpar, because then I saw the equivalent of buyer's remorse and having to go back and fix it. No ill results, but just a waste of time and energy. And it's harder on you financially, emotionally, and even just like if there is something where you have to go back and do it twice in the body, you don't want to do that. Same thing in the house. The integrity of the structure isn't what it would normally be if you just do it once. So do it right the first time. Pay attention to the quality of everything. Make sure that the people, the materials, everything top-notch, authentic, certified. And that was it. Because once you do that, you're into a good sort of trajectory. But it was a very clear message from the guides. Don't go cheap, don't skimp, definitely go for the best when it's your body and your environment. It's one and the same, okay? So the Ace of Pentacles saying it's a worthy investment to go for the best here. All right, focusing on the details was the next piece. And we have that phrase, the devil's in the details. Well, the way to get past that, the way to make sure that we're not missing something, is to scrutinize and pay attention to every little detail. Now, I chose, instead of the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, because this is really someone who knows what they want, and they're going to make sure that it happens. And so for you, I think one thing that you can do this month in particular is to make sure that if something or someone isn't listening and they're trying to gloss over something, you actually point out an example, or you go to the contract and say, we agreed to this. And if there's something that you don't agree with in any sort of written context, particularly contracts, make sure that you are clearing that out before you sign on the dotted line. Now, this card is one of recognition. So once you pay attention to detail, do things 100%, and you're very pleased with it, well, then recognition is a part of that as well. So focusing on the details for anything that you're putting out into the world is important, but also, again, as we talked about, this is very much connected to the previous slide, making sure that everything is what you think it should be. Authenticity is a common thread throughout all of these. And I also highlighted there, legal, governmental, and contractual matters. You have to really pay attention to things. And if you don't understand something, get advice, get clarity, or, pump the brakes for a moment until you are ready to proceed. And finally, the environment keeps coming through multiple times. And I was shown without any sort of ambiguity. For some of you, there are things that are no longer necessary in the environment. It could be something that's really old, like, for instance, an old battery, or something that you're storing like oil in a canister and it's going to leak. You want to get rid of those old things. They're not serving any, possible, benefit, and you also want to recycle them properly so that they don't harm the environment. For most of you, this could just constitute clutter. old documents that you don't need, books that might be better donated or recycled as well, things that are just kind of adding up in the environment. And what that also creates is the potential for clutter-based injuries, let's put it that way. So the tower can also represent tripping over something just because there's too much stuff around. If you have pets like I do or children, you know that sometimes you can't control that. And it's kind of a daily thing. Every day I just pick up some of his toys and put them back in his beds or put them into a storage space, and then we bring them out when it's time for playtime. So you know what I'm talking about with kids and with pets. There's that piece. And for the rest of us, it's just going through the closet, getting rid of stuff from the last season. And this creates more opportunity for energy to circulate, less opportunity for you to get tripped up, more capability for you to focus. And also it's a great way to if you can't use something, someone else might be able to. So I'm a big proponent of recycling or selling something or gifting something to someone and finding a better home if you need to. Okay, so again, if we kind of go back to the first slide, making sure that it's the real McCoy, genuine, authentic materials, and also people that know what they're doing. You want to make sure that you've got them if you're working with any sort of construction or repair or anything related to health. Paying attention to all the details on legal documents and making sure that you clean your environment. I mean, these are things that all of us can benefit from, but I woke up no less than probably half a dozen times with very specific dreams showing me different scenarios of people that were being sort of challenged with these things. So I really believe that if you listen to this and apply these tips, that you're gonna have a productive month ahead. Let's go to the overhead camera, give the cards a shuffle, and see what this month has in store. And again, just a reminder, this can be used for your sun, rising, moon, or Venus. Welcome, everybody. We're going old school with the deck. I'm using one of my favorite ones here, Radiant Rider-Waite Smith deck. It's just so easy to read with and yields a lot of great results. Okay, folks, let's begin. We're going to look at your catalyst card first. We have emotional withdrawal. The card is in the reverse state. So for some of you, you may be coming out of this phase, kind of like coming out of a hermit phase and saying, I'm ready to show myself. I'm ready to explore the world again. There's a little bit of it's not quite a rainbow, but what we see is the color of healing there. The heart center, we see green, we see blue, we see purple. So heart, I would even say there's a little bit of throat. It's these upper chakras that are coming into play here. So one of the ways to kind of create that healing energy in your life is to talk it out. That's why we have, benefits from therapy, talking to a friend. Things with the heart can also, whether it's writing, dancing, or doing something that helps kind of like connect you with your creative flow. And then, of course, meditation. All of these things are coming through, and the primary energy on this one is the heart, so it's healing the heart. And we see a meditative pose here. I love that he's grounded here as well. So there is this sense of, I love going for a hike or going to the beach. So this is very effective if you're feeling overwhelmed. It connects you with the planet. It's good, like when I'm hiking, you're going to get some dust on your shoes. You're going to maybe take a moment to plant your feet on the ground or really take a nice deep, sort of breath of the fresh air. So give yourself a chance to do that if you haven't in a while. I'm also paying a lot of attention to that hand there. So of course he could have been leaning back, but this can also be symbolic of a helping hand. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to receive it. And again, there's so many different ways to facilitate healing, whatever works for you this month. This card is really encouraging you to do that and to take care of yourself. I'll put it here so we can keep an eye on that. Just quickly looking at the overall spread to get the theme of the month. One thing that I see here is healing, stress management, and once you kind of get through that, things take off in a rather sort of substantial way here. You got a lot of support coming through, a lot of activity. So let's break it down card by card. Overall, pretty manageable, I have to say. For many of you this month, the biggest challenge is simply knowing when to say no to invitations, to extracurricular activities, to basically overcommitting your time and energy. There are a finite amount of hours in the day. There's only so much that we can do in our waking hours as well. So you really want to make sure that whatever you're putting your attention into and your energy into, you're really getting the biggest bang for the buck there. So with this card, in the upright position, usually that's apparent, but in reverse, it can be kind of like falling into old habits, or again, just trying to make other people happy or trying to push yourself a little too far. Don't do that. That's the main message with this. Financially speaking, this has to do with, again, understanding the limits of your budget and knowing that this isn't a month to push it too far. There may be travel associated with this as well. Make sure that your itinerary is manageable and you're not overextending. That's the common theme. So whether it's your work-life balance, your actual balance sheet when we're looking at your money, or your schedule and itinerary, there's an opportunity to bring it back into some semblance of order. There's always 2 pentacles on here, so when you take something off, you basically have like a page of pentacles there that can do something with that focus. So once you get focused, you'll start to see productivity and energy, and you're going to feel a lot better too. And you'll be able to keep the promises and the appointments as well that are on your calendar. Okay? Crossing this card is something that's wonderful. We have the Sun card. It's associated with success, with birthing. It can also be a card of incoming love or relationships. And generally speaking, when it's an indication of you, it's one that is charismatic, bold, something that people are drawn to. Again, thinking of how the sun operates in our own solar system. It's the glue, it's the conductor, it's the leader. Now, we also have a little tiny baby on this, so it is, again, associated with real births in your life, but it can also be symbolic ones. And it's the inner child, which is saying, I've known what to do all along. Have fun, connect with people, be yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously. All of these things are associated with that. And in leadership, it's nice to have someone who has the playful side, who understands the importance of family and friends, because we have the work-life balance card right under this. Many of you are deciding to spend more time with your children, with the people that you love the most, to try to have more fun in your life. Because I never use the phrase that life is short, because we don't want to put that out there. But it is finite, that's a guarantee. There's an end point and a beginning point, and we don't really understand how much length we have. So make the most of it. I hope it's a long life for all of you. But either way, you want to make sure that there's never a wasted moment or day for that matter. Okay? Some of you may also be having a new cycle in your life, a 1-year contract. This can represent a period of time, one solar revolution, okay? In the deep past, these 2 cards are definitely connected here, the 4 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. At its core, the 4 of Pentacles has to do with holding on to something longer than you need to, and sometimes even it can be a scarcity mentality. The reversal of this is understanding, maybe for the first time in a while, that it's time to let go. And I talked about things in your house, in your environment. So for some of you, it could just be the clutter or an object that reminds you of times that were not so good, and you're starting to realize this doesn't serve me. It's a little more complicated when it's either a relationship or a job or some sort of a situation in your life where you're putting a lot into it, but you're not getting a lot out. In that case, sometimes we hold on because it's comfortable or predictable, even though it's not enough. And there's a fear of scarcity. So if you release it, person, place, or thing, then there's just emptiness. But what that also is the stage, like in the 4 of Wands, for something better to come in. So you have to hold space for and also hope and this own sort of love and reverence for yourself that something better can and will come through. So it's time to prioritize your needs. If you need something, speak up. Don't accept less than what you need, at least what you're worth when it comes to negotiations. If you're purchasing anything and it's, again, too far out of your budget, try to negotiate. If someone is utilizing your services and you're freelancing or something and they're not giving you your rate, make sure that you get paid. This is about making sure that you're balanced. And that really was why there's so much of a connection here. Some of it is just reaching out, and this is connecting it with the catalyst here. So maybe there's even an advocate. It's hard to see from a distance there, but that little thumbprint or handprint here, we'll bring it up to the main camera, reaching out for help or advice if needed, okay? Let's move on to your recent past. We have now a pause. Some of you have been feeling like your life may have been on the pause button. So you've been waiting to hear back from maybe a job application. You asked someone out, you haven't heard back. You've been trying to make something in your life happen, but it just seems like there's this, like crickets basically. So that's okay because it's giving you a moment to do a myriad of things, but here's what's coming to mind. First, to tune in and think, why am I so connected to that? Is it something that is just familiar and safe? Is it something that actually is pulling me further away from what I should be focusing on? Or is it something that is worth the wait? You get to decide. Don't rush into anything. And don't rush the waiting time sometimes, because with this one, there could be something better if you look at it from a different angle. Literally, the Hanged Man is hanging upside down, and it is something that this isn't a punishment card, not when we're looking at your own personal development. Odin wantingly and decided on his own sort of volition to hang upside down from the tree of life, or tree of knowledge rather, in order to learn. So in our own lives, this can just represent understanding that there is something valuable in the pause. And if we wait, sometimes something amazing can happen. So don't be afraid to hold space for something and to look at things from a different angle, okay? Now, if someone's leaving you hanging and they're not giving you the feedback that you need, that is in and of itself a form of communication. So remember, you really don't want to force things right in this period of time. So if someone is in their own space or isn't responding or receptive to you, find someone who is, because this is one of the best cards in the major arcana. I'm going to pull another one that I read with on the weekend, the Morgan Greer deck, and I'm going to find the Lovers card in here, or the Sun card in this one, because here it is. It has Lovers on in the foreground. So you have the ability to attract someone or something that is going to be very much connected to, very much in the energy and responding to what it is that you have to offer. So wait for that, or find that. And if it's not what you're currently connected to, then this is an indication from the universe that it's okay to move in a different direction. The main thing that we're picking up in your own headspace, your own heart as well, is the need basically to focus on being happy, being healthy, and to release anything, again, that you might be holding on to. There could be a feeling in relationships, and we'll look at this again a little closer when we go into the relationship spread, of someone who's not providing what you're giving. So you're putting a lot in. Again, there's not a lot of return on the energy. So that can lead to this sense of disappointment. But that's also a wake-up call when that's happening. By and large, though, this is just a call to heal and permission, by the way, from that inner child that we saw at the center, to be happy and to pursue your own happiness. This is a moment in time where you're going to pivot and focus on fulfillment. Looking at the near future, which gives you the key to basically unlock why this is happening, we do have some stress management coming through. The good news with the Nine of Swords is it's typically a manageable card, and it's not as bad as it seems. It can feel really frustrating to go through this. This can be insomnia, this can be work, or even just general relationship stress that's finding its way into your own sleep patterns because you haven't had ample time to process it. Remember, we had some of the tools in this one by talking to someone, by getting your own space and distance to sort yourself out. So like the Eight of Cups, for instance, get the space, get the perspective. Whether you can do that on your own or you need to work with someone else, it's a good time to explore these things. Nine of Swords can simply be an encouragement to do what I did recently and upgrade your sleeping environment. So whether that's cleaning the space out, painting or renovating the space, or just getting better sheets, better mattress, better pillows, whatever, it is making sure that you are getting quality and quantity of sleep. Additionally, make sure that the environment is free of distractions and it's calming. The colors that you choose, the objects that you choose have a big impact. Make sure that the colors are calming and soothing. It's good to have a plant there. It's good to have not too many distractions as you go into sleep space. Turn off the TV, turn off the computer, and focus on just setting intentions. It's something I have to do because I have a tendency to connect with my guides, so I really have to be full of intent when I'm drifting off to sleep. So take a note from me and make sure that you're saying what it is that you hope to accomplish in that night, and release all that was during the day, and imagine that you're getting ready for a mental reset. Okay, it looks like you can get a lot done this month. The Eight of Wands is one of the best cards I could pull to symbolize you. You're in the middle of something big, a lot of action, a lot of opportunities. One thing that is sometimes forgotten on this card is it takes a lot of people, a community, to make all of these sort of things move forward. So you're not an island, you're part of a bigger group. And we see that without a shadow of a doubt here with the environment card, the Four of Wands. You may need to reach or speak out to that sort of group because sometimes they're used to you being able to do everything. So you might have to say, I need some help. But you can get the help that you need if you are open to reaching out. Basically, the Eight of Wands can symbolize for business, a busy month. For you, a lot of productivity, the ability to check off a lot of items on your to-do list. And it's just very, very fruitful, productive, and busy. This is why, my friends, you did get the prioritization card at the center. You did get a card about making sure that you're getting compensated and that the energetic return is there. And that's why also stress management is coming through. So slow down if you need to a little. I've talked about this in Wands before. You can add or subtract and most of the suit is pretty positive. So you can go all the way down to an ace if you need to, or a Three of Wands. Less but more effective, less but more focused. So that's the message there. This is a great month for partnership, relationships, laying down a new foundation, for getting out and networking with people, really meeting new people. I mentioned setting the stage. So we see people in the background, but the foreground is empty. And it's basically this beautiful sun energy that's attracting the highest possible partnerships to come into that Four of Wands area. So even if you don't see it, especially if you don't see it, that is not an indication that it can't or won't happen. And that it being core partnerships, friendships, love. And this is a time where people are actually in the periphery wondering, do you want to spend some time? And again, it could be all levels of relationship. So if you are going through some stuff, and some of you are, reach out. That support system, it's the brightest card if you notice, next to the sun. And it's right there in your environment. So there's something really good waiting. This is your silver lining. Not just that, but there's a blessing in disguise and speed and opportunity starting to pick up. So everything here is fruitful. So productivity, partnership, blessing in disguise, and fast-paced improvements and developments. All you have to do is work through some emotional stuff first. That's the main block this month, is emotional and possibly resource or schedule. If you can get through those, then there's so many doors that are opening up here. Before we get into the expanded forecast, let's go to hidden opportunities here. Hopes, fears, and opportunities is just that, a blessing in disguise. So this Four of Cups, you can see the ace floating in the sky. It's basically, it can be love, it can be an idea, it can be an opportunity. It can also be the realization, especially when the card is reversed, that, you know what, there's a lot of blessings. There's a lot of things around you that are worth celebrating. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And also there may be an idea or a breakthrough that just requires a deep breath and, kind of like what the Hanged Man is giving you, a different perspective. So if you allow yourself to look at something from a different perspective, a breakthrough is possible. So keep an open heart, keep an open mind, and look around. And try not to compare yourself to others. It doesn't do much except reinforce fear or anxiety. And we've got enough of that in our own lives, right? All right, as we look at your outcome card is great here. We have the Knight of Swords, one of the fastest moving cards. Sometimes you might be going with the flow, sometimes you might be going counter to the flow, but either way, speed is a component of this particular card. Your communication has a chance of really getting people's attention. So if you haven't before had success in possibly sending an application, texting someone and getting a response, knocking on a door and having someone be there, this is a month where it's faster and easier to make those sort of pivotal connections. This is also about hitting the pavement. So if you need to get something done, put in the work, put in the sweat, and you'll start to see a reaction with that too. So it's your communication and your physical commitment to and the actions that you're taking to create that sort of communication and bring it into life that's going to be the magic components this month. But ultimately, I like that things are going to move a little faster for you when and if you're ready. Speak up. That's where that's where you can start to get more resources, or you can connect to the pool of resources, the people in your life as well. Let's expand this forecast now, and we're going to take a closer look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the energy surrounding health, with the standard disclaimer that if you're going through something, you'll always work with your doctor as well. All right, I love this. It's a connection between the catalyst, the environment, and now health. You're in great company. Pull back to propel forward. When I looked at this card, it reminded me of the Lovers, because we see an embrace of two energies here. Or maybe it's even just you embracing with your higher self. And then we have a partnership card, possibly one of the best ones. This can indicate a business partnership, marriage, or a best friend. It's really solid. You want to have the Four of Wands on a relationship spread. And now we have this card here, which again, it's hard to see the little hand, but it's about reaching out or receiving. So if you're ready, then we see the universe wanting to come in and provide the company, the support, the partnership that many of you are seeking. We're getting that even before we look at love. So to me, this is quite heartening, and I think that you're on to a better path here if you're ready for that, okay? Let's take a look now at just the general cards here and get some additional messages with respect to your health and your happiness. So the most important thing here is emotional well-being and mental health. So whatever you need to do this month to solidify your emotions, your healing, that's going to be key. Yes, the Three of Swords can also be connected to blood pressure, heart health, cholesterol, and things of that nature. So that goes beyond tarot, and you'll need to work with a professional if there's a family history of that. Just being active and again, prioritizing your heart happiness are generally good things to do when you see the Three of Swords. Some of you are not moving enough. With the Hanged Man, this can represent stagnation in your life. This is also not getting enough sleep, and this is what's causing it for some of you, being pulled in too many directions, burning the candle at both ends. It's time to kind of step out of that a little bit. And other than that, it's pretty manageable. This is not overlooking something or trying to sweep something under the rug, getting second opinions, doing your research. Otherwise, pretty manageable spread. I think the hardest thing is asking for help or receiving help or setting aside time for rest and meditation. Let's move on to wealth, which is resources, life purpose, and your career. And in the energy of wealth, we have listening for truth. We have the conch shell, which came through in a recent daily card reading. Someone was saying, well, they can also be used for a call. Yes, I mentioned in that daily card reading, it's call and answer. So the question here is, which end of the phone are you on? Do you need to make the call? And are you also listening when people offer that? Yes, the conch shell works both ways. So keep an open mind and keep an open ear to all of that. Whether it's a knight or a page, communication, any of the court cards for that matter in the Suit of Swords, listening is just as important as what you're putting out there into the world. So listen, your next lead, your potential feedback that could help you avoid a misstep it's right there in front of you. It just requires tuning in. So tune in. All right, let's take a look at this in 3 different levels. For those of you that are just starting out, maybe students or rebooting your career, we'll start with you, then we'll go to mid-career or retired. So for those of you that are just starting out or restarting, the important thing for you is to pick a path that is copacetic, that is connected to you. There's no use going through something that makes you feel stressed or unhappy, because it's not going to change once you get certification or get another job. It's just going to be more of that. So one thing that I see here is breaking free of stress and focusing instead on something that makes you feel like, I want to do this. I want to get up in the morning. I want to be connected to that. So the main thing here is listen to the inner child and do something that is both fun and fulfilling, because if it is something you're going to do for your livelihood, it might as well be something you love. Okay? Sage advice there. Again, not overcommitting, focusing maybe on different ways to get some funding for those of you that might be pursuing a path of nonprofit or other types of work that's not so focused on making money. How would you get the funding you need for the research for the project, etc.? This is a time to kind of put that together, a proposal, if you will. Okay, for those that are mid-career, some of you feel stuck, some of you are feeling the stress, and many of you are wondering what else is out there. I think it's good in any point in life to always keep an eye on the horizon and see what you can do. Your network is your best friend here, so listen for anyone that might be saying we're looking for work. Talk to people that you trust. This isn't something you're going to broadcast to everyone, but to the closest friends in your life, you could possibly discuss this. And it is possible to see something that you wouldn't normally think, I can do this, but it could be a repackaging or a reimagining of your curriculum, your skill set, whatever it is, your curriculum vitae, I was going to say your resume. So looking at what it is that you have previously done and think, well, this would be the next natural phase, but I could also take all of this and put it over here and have a lot more fun. Even if it means I have to, create it's kind of like do some catch-up work. That's what I had to do when I quit my job. It took me about 1.5 years to get back on my feet, but it was totally worth it. So you have to just kind of weigh the opportunity cost there. But it does feel like it's really important no matter what. If you choose to stay somewhere, really focus on creating a good network and making sure that you're not sort of like leaning into this stress too much, okay? For those that are retired, there's this big relief and release that's coming through because many of you were very, very ready. And for those that are unemployed, it could be the same sort of thing where this was something like you had more than enough. This is a rebirth. This is a genesis. It's true for everybody right now. This is a birthing card. So this is a chance for you to come through and decide, I want to make people wonder, well, how did I not see this before? Show them all the colors that you can paint with in the rainbow and really be your own unique self. This is a chance to have fun with that. Outreach is so important. Friends, family, volunteer work, community. Speak up, speak out, right? And share your experiences with others. It's a great time to do all of that. Okay, let's now move on to love. This is romantic, platonic, friends and family, all of the above. So your oracle card for love, it's a little wordy. It came through reverse. Let's pull it up right so I can read it. We have the orca whale, which is adventure. And whenever I see a whale, it's also making a splash. You can't ignore a whale. A lot of people go whale watching. So it's a star energy too, because it's something that people are looking for. All right, here's what we've got here. Dare to do things differently. Yes, this is what we've been saying. Sing your wild song. Yes, please. Manifest your travel dreams. Absolutely. We have a travel card with the 2 of Pentacles, but you're going to have to be smart on your itinerary. Attempt a great journey with confidence. Yes, you only live this life once, so live it to the maximum. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasures. Yes, they're literally there in the environment here. So yes to that. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. Absolutely. And this is a month for that discovery. So I hope that all of that makes sense to you. When the card is reversed, it can just mean that you're pulling back a little bit, dimming your shine, or doubting yourself. And we don't need or want that. This is a time to embrace that sort of adventurous side. Okay, taking just a larger look at all of this coming through in the 3 different relationship styles that I like to look at. So for those of you that are already in a loving relationship, here's what I see. There's like 2 paths. For some of you, the 2 of you really love each other. We have the Sun and we have the 4 of Wands. This is strong. And we have a positive card in the outcome. However, there could be a feeling of frustration with one or both of you in external things, like feeling stuck in work and money, feeling stressed over things that you can't control, or focusing on what other people are doing and comparing your own life to that. That stuff needs to kind of go to the side if possible. There could be some of you that are in the throes of a difficult situation and you're trying to figure, can we do this? I feel like there is a really good chance for reconciliation, for communication. We got the 2 cards that I'd want to see for that. So if you're willing to look at it from a different perspective, keep an open heart and an open mind, I see reconciliation, I see reunion, I see love. But some of you may have just decided you're ready to move on, and things will happen faster than you think. You've got a lot of friends to lean on if you're going in that path. Mostly this is a month to manage stress and to manage resources, and those are what's actually causing more stress in the relationship. So be open when it comes to money and your health and your general happiness. You have to lean into that friendship and that trust. Without it, it's going to be difficult. And maybe you're at a point where there's only so much you can do and you might need to bring in someone else to help out, right? But remind the partner that you're there together. So if they're withdrawing from you, that's the one thing that needs to shift the most this month. Okay, if you're looking for love, I think this isn't the most optimal time, but it can happen for sure. As you saw when I was bringing forth the Morgan Greer deck, the Sun is a lover's card. You're coming through with lover's energy, great company. People see you as great company. But what do you need to do first? Focus on emotional happiness, stress management, work-life balance, and resources. Get that stuff in order, and then things do start to take off quickly. You could meet someone, it could get serious fast. You just have a busy schedule, okay? Looks like an air sign could be coming in, a fellow air sign. And that's good. I mean, there's a lot of similarities here. The things that I'm looking at though, I really feel like first and foremost, your schedule has to sort of even out a bit right now because there's a lot going on. So slow down the tempo a little bit so that you can enjoy this person when they come in, okay? If you are single and happy, it's pretty optimal right now to be single and happy. You can do a lot with professional and also friend or even love, even you're not looking for it, but there's relationship building that can happen this month, and that's the primary thing. Also, anything that you put your energy behind, you're going to see a lot of activity and the ability to manifest pretty quickly. So it's a good month across the board for those that are single and happy. And for everyone else, it seems like you can manage it with communication. And again, not pulling yourself in so many directions, okay? Finally, let's take a look at your destiny card. We have trustworthy friends coming through. Well, we already saw that in the environment. The card itself says, thank you for surrounding me with people that I can trust, and it's a message to the angels. So really focus on the people in your life that make you feel that sense of family, of elevation, of connection. It's not accidental. They're being guided to you, and you're being guided to lean on them in this moment in time, okay? Now we're going to take a deeper dive into sun, rising, and moon messages and see what's in store for you. Sun, rising, and moon. Okay, we'll begin first with the sun sign messages. You have the Tower. This makes a lot of sense, and I think I featured this with the message around clearing and cleaning things up, so I'll bring that card up while we're talking. The main thing here for you is to really pay attention to some of the things that we highlighted here. Look at your environment. Is there anything that doesn't serve or suit your higher interests? And also think about what it is that you really want to make a change in during this period, because I mentioned that whenever the Tower comes through, it's kind of like an ocean wave. You have the ability to ride that wave and land on your feet. It's just a matter of being an active agent of the change, okay? There are other things that I didn't mention here. It is a good time for renovation or dealing with something that's overdue, because you have to, basically. So this can be like fixing a roof, getting your car maintenance done, dealing with something in your own health that has reached a point where you really know that it's time to do what you need to do. Remember my feedback from Spirit, which was don't go for anything less than the best when you're picking parts or service or materials or expertise. All of these things will help you from having to do it twice. Let's get it right the first time, and that's the main message here with the Tower. Okay, moving on to rising. We got the Boss card for you. So Aquarius rising, you can do this. Speaking of landing on your feet, that's something a cat can normally do. 9 lives. You may have had serious setbacks in the past, but you have the ability right now to come through with flying colors. And all the solar energy also connected to the sun, leaning into your power to being able to feel like you can do this. She's also kind of miraculous. She's in the desert. She can make anything happen. Right now, if you trust and believe and lean into your creativity and your leadership skills, the sky is the limit, okay? And taking the lead and taking the initiative is definitely something that the Queen of Wands would do. Taking a look now at moon sign messages, we see an improvement here. Another balance card here, the 6 of Pentacles. This is an elevated version of what we saw at the center. So you can see the people reaching out and asking for more, and you're still kind of reminding yourself, I can't give to everyone or do everything that everyone wants me to do. So you're going to say no, but do it in an empowered way. The card is reversed. So again, there could be some hesitation or discomfort with using the word no, or with stating what you need, stating whatever it is that you need to others, but it's important to do so. And overall, this is you landing on your feet and finding your balance, okay? So don't be afraid to trust in that sort of wisdom of what you know is right, and you'll be okay if you do that, all right? We have one more piece that I like to look at in each and every reading, and this is a final question and a final card. Focus, if you will, on something that I've yet to answer. We've had a chance to look at everything in the month ahead, but there's invariably one very personal or specific thing that you might be dealing with. So I'd like you to hold that in your heart and in your head as I shuffle the cards here. And now we got 3 balance cards. You have one here, you have one here, and now we have justice itself coming through. So the answer here is you have to do what brings you a sense of balance. You have to do the right thing. You want to follow contracts, agreements, and basically make sure that you're doing what you say you're going to do. So walk the walk and talk the talk, or vice versa. Just make sure that you're keeping your word with this. If there's something that you need to fight for, this is a good time to do it. And justice in the upright position as a yes/no is basically saying yes if that's what you want to do. The decision is yours. Justice isn't me saying you need to say yes or no. It's saying you get to make the call with this. As I was pulling the card, I actually felt a little bit of an activation in my crown chakra. So don't overthink it. Feel it out. You know, like ancient Egypt, the wisdom is in the heart space. And even just this inner child coming out. What feels fun, fulfilling, and what is propelling you forward? That's going to be what brings you that sense of balance, okay? But justice is a powerful card. So when you've made your mind up, you are unstoppable. When you feel balanced and when you have created a firm foundation, and for some of you, it's going to involve breaking down something that doesn't work, figuratively speaking, then with this new firm foundation and confidence, the sky is the limit. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. That did bring this to a close. And if you enjoyed this and you're brand new, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. It helps me know that this makes a difference. Same thing with the thumbs up. Super easy. Both of these are free, and it's a good way to give me feedback as a creator and help other people find this video as well. And if you want to make sure you don't miss future videos, opt into all notifications, and that will help out. You can also give me a follow on social media for additional reminders and news and updates. It's always my full name, no extra characters. I don't have second accounts. There's a lot of imposters right now on TikTok, so pay special attention to this. When in doubt, you can go to my main profile page on YouTube, and all the links are listed there. They're also neatly laid out on my website, so take a look there. A reminder, again, I don't have extra accounts, and it's always going to be the proper spelling of my name. No number 2s, no extra H's, those are big red flags. But I don't offer private readings. I don't use DMs. I'm never going to message you asking for money. Anybody that does that is fake. Let me know, block them, report them, and let me know. If you would like to give back, it's always optional, and you can always do it through an official channel right here by doing a super sticker, super thanks, by becoming a member. And if this is on replay, you can hit the little heart thing that says thanks as well. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with me today. It means so much. I wish you all the best now and always. And a reminder, if you'd like to see any of my future videos, I'm here every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I do daily card readings as well. And I'm also here for live streams on the weekend. Take special care of yourself. I'll see you soon. And until next time, be well.